It's an amazing 2,200-mile trek from Middle America through the mountain passes of the Wild West, winding up on the sandy beaches of the Golden State. An unforgettable trip you'll have to climb aboard to believe. We're at the iconic Kansas City Union Station, waiting for what could be compared, in our airline age, to a red-eye flight. Amtrak's Southwest Chief Passenger Train, with its silver passenger cars glistening in the lights of the big city, pulls into the station on its daily journey halfway across the continent from Chicago to California. We take our place in the long line of folks making this journey. We're sleepy, but excited to get on track for Los Angeles, 34 hours to our west. After a few hours of shut-eye, we wake up to a sunrise on the Great Plains of western Kansas, the rails sparkling in the morning rays. These rolling prairies certainly holding a beauty in their own right. Our first major stop in the daylight hours is Garden City, Kansas. Just like most towns along the way, Garden City is marked by towering grain elevators, concrete testaments to the importance of farming out here, and as markers on the horizon seen for miles. By breakfast time, many of us are making our way to the lounge car, the big picture windows providing nice views of a much quieter, slower way of doing things. Our train is a modern-day version of the Santa Fe Super Chief, one of America's most famous trains. The crowds long ago flocked to the highways and the airways, but the Chief still plays an important role for the towns along the way and for travelers looking to see the country without the hustle of driving or flying. We're soon rolling into our first short layover of the morning, the Colorado town of La Junta, Spanish for the junction. For passengers, it's a chance to step off and get some air. Our train also takes on a new crew. After a few minutes, we're heading back out, and we get a chance to see how this place gets its name. The junction, the track to the left heading north to Denver, and our train takes the route to the south. It doesn't take long before the flatness of the heartland gives way to the more jagged landscape of the Wild West. Trinidad marks our next major stop in the state of Colorado. Beyond Trinidad, the train slows down and the track gets steep and curvy as we head into the famed Raton Pass. We can actually see the front of our train several times in some of the curves. We're enjoying the scenery as daylight briefly gives way to darkness as we slip into the long Raton Tunnel, which was blasted through the solid rock when crews built the original tracks through here back in the late 1800s. The tunnel also marks the crossing between Colorado and New Mexico. The aptly named town of Raton is our next stop. It's a fairly quiet town but has a lot of people getting off and on, many being Boy Scouts headed for the nearby Philemont Ranch, the train being a popular way for thousands to get to this summer camping destination. Back on track, we start to see more and more what the West is all about, as the mountains get more numerous, the colors seemingly more vibrant. Sandia Peak marks the beginning of the Albuquerque metro area, the halfway point in our journey. We'll lay over here for about an hour, enough time to stretch our legs and for another replacement crew to climb aboard. Just outside Albuquerque, we encounter some rain, certainly a welcome sight in this landscape that's quickly turned into a desert. When the sun peeks back out, we get a surprise, this beautiful rainbow adding some additional color to the pretty hues of the Southwest. For most of this trip, we've been one of the only trains out here. Back near Kansas City, the main freight route diverges south from ours to miss the mountains. At a point called Dallies Junction, the tracks all come back together, and our Amtrak train joins a parade of what seems to be train after train for the remainder of our trip west. As evening draws on, we stop in places like Gallup, New Mexico. Come nightfall, one last big stop in Flagstaff, Arizona. As darkness falls for a second night, it's time for some more shut-eye. California awaits us just a few hours ahead. The next morning, we wake up having left the high passes and desert behind for urban sprawl and skyline of Los Angeles. This part of our journey comes to a close at the bustling Los Angeles Union Station, the hub for Southern California's expansive network of passenger and commuter trains. On the platform of Union Station, we find an Amtrak Pacific Surfliner coming in. The Surfliner service entails more than 24 trains a day from LA to Santa Barbara in the north, San Diego to the south, part 2 of our trip. Deep down underground below Union Station, we find even more trains. The Red Line subway to Hollywood. Back up on the surface, more commuter trains roll into the station, their warning bells clanging. Over on track 12, the iron horses that brought us this far are cooling their heels. In just a few hours, they will literally backtrack for the long return trip back east to Kansas City and Chicago.